about getting out and learning what the outdoors is. We've got the Fausti X F4, made in Italy. The Bettinzoli Portrait, made in Italy. We've got Johnny's Muruku, made in Japan, probably 30, 40 years old. We've got the AYA number 2, Spanish. Webley and Scott, made in England. We've got my father's Muruku ORE. We've got the Yield It Pro Sport, made in Turkey. And we've got the Beretta 682 Goldie, made in Italy. We have got Shotgun World Cup. We've got 5 different countries, 9 different shotguns. Let's see who comes out the top.
What criteria are we going to sort of judge this by?
Quality?
Okay.
Or just who we love?
Yeah, why not? Let's have no serious metrics whatsoever. Let's just have some fun.
Yeah. Germany, we didn't have one. They don't qualify.
Yeah,
French didn't qualify.
Americans didn't either. But hey, we've got 4 Italian guns and 2 Japanese. That's all that really matters.
Yeah. So what's your favourite starter gun? Because there's lots of them.
Beretta.
That's not really a starter gun. We basically have all shot Murukus. I've shot a Muruku for my double trap. I've shot a Browning. I've had a 682 Goldie. You've had Murukus.
Yeah.
You've had Berettas. But generally, most of us have had Murukus most of our lives. And what is your favourite starter gun? You got Bettinzolis?
I would rather own a Turkish gun, I think, in terms of value for money, right? You could buy a Turkish gun with adjustable cone and get it fully fitted for £1,000. You probably couldn't do that with a Bettinzoli. You know the best game, David? Mate, it's the only thing that's bringing me any joy about hand sanitizer being absolutely everywhere.
So, we've got the Beretta 682 Goldie.
That's going to take some beating. That's one of the best guns of all time.
Adjustable cone.
It's a fixed.
I have to say, the quality of them are they've got the quality right those days.
What are they lacking now?
They R&R really. Development. You look at the way this was built, it was solid.
You don't think modern Berettas are solid?
More than this?
Identical to?
I just think older Berettas never go wrong. I've had a few people say that the older ones, quite a few people say that the older ones are better than the new ones.
I think a lot of that in people's heads, and this is my only theory, is that you could buy that for what? How much is that? 1,500 quid? And new to go and buy a 692 is like £3,000, and that's why I think that's better quality because they're representing that as a better value for money.
And this is probably had a lot more shells through it.
Yeah.
Let's ask the viewer. Comment below if you think older Berettas are better than the newer Berettas.
Comment below if you can actually have a genuine reason that older Berettas are better than new Berettas. That's the interesting thing here. Let's shoot it.
Let's shoot it.
Beautiful.
Paul? Oh. Paul?
This is fun.
2 away.
All right. What is that? You hit 2?
No, I missed 2.
2 of what? You straightened it in my book. Straightened it in my book. Woo!
That's 1 miss.
This is horrible.
2 miss. Neck and neck now.
Johnny's going to miss 3 out of however many.
Oh, does that mean I win?
Yeah, basically 1.
Oh, that was a good shot. So, what did you think of that?
Apart from being left-handed and too high in the cone, they're just you know what you're getting when you get one of these. And that's just a
I like
Beretta
that.
in general.
I did like that, I have to say.
It's nice, it works, takes a little bit of getting used to, only because with the fixed choke and the adjustable comb, it's less front heavy than many other Berettas. And as such, you have to focus on actually positively swinging the gun as opposed to just giving it a shunt.
Yeah. I quite like that.
There's very little not to like. What's next?
So that's 1.
1-0 to Italy. I don't know, there's no nil, is there?
There's no nil.
There's no nil. 1 to Italy. It's a boss actioned copy of a Parazzi made in Turkey by Yildiz.
But half the price.
For that gun there in that spec, less than £1,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Let's shoot
Get
it.
out. Let's bring that back. That is a horrible target over there, isn't it?
Paul.
3 misses.
2? Didn't you shoot at the first one?
The first one. What's the rules in competition if you don't shoot at the target, if you don't like it?
Paul? That counts as 1.
The pigeon. Pigeon. He's coming in. No, he's not. He landed in the tree.
Paul?
I'm feeling that you're not liking this as much as the Beretta.
Paul?
You're not in love with that gun. What's different about it?
I will say, it's low in the comb.
Okay. And you don't like that.
It's a bit lighter.
Uh-huh.
Makes you throw it around.
The sporter version with a pistol, big fat heavy pistol grip. That's a different
Yeah,
kettle of fish
I think if it was a sporter, I think it would be better.
Short stocks on these non-sporter guns. Now, as I said, that is the Turkish thing, isn't it? You're not... These glasses are dirty. I kind of like the little bit of extra front end weight in such a lightweight gun. It's not bad. Swings all right, although the lack of stock weight does make it erratic, and the stock is child size-ish. The comb height doesn't bother me. Stock length does. And that is where the R&D for my head comes in. And they have corrected that on the trap and the Sportan. The TGS gun, where it's got a proper adult spec of stock, then it's a good gun. And I think that sort of market-specific stock shaping that comes with a higher grade of gun, and the relationship that Britain has built up with Italy over these years, that is coming from Turkey, is what I like a little bit more about that Beretta, at least from the start.
But with you cannot, I don't think you can compare that and a Beretta together.
Why not?
Because a Beretta is, you don't, how many of them do you see in the Olympic Games? How many of them do you see in the Olympic Games?
How many Yildiz, has there even been a Yildiz Pro Sport like available for any of the Olympic Games?
But how many of the top shooters do you see shoot when?
Some would say that at £899 that exists on your shelf for, they don't have money left to give them away and sponsor shooters.
But also, what top shooter is going to grab that? You can't. That's a great starter gun, and that to me is where that falls. And the biggest problem is some of these starter guns, they're fine, but you've got to understand a starter gun. You're not going to stay. You've got Maruku, you've got Beretta, you've got Browning, you've got Parazzi, Krieghoff. They're proper competition guns. They're moving up. So you can't really compare the two. I don't think it's fair on Yildiz to compare them with the Beretta.
I think their sporter gun would give that a run for its money. I think if I had my TGS gun here, it would give that a run for its money. There's no reason.
But
I mean,
that is what the general public think. But
yeah,
is
of
that
course.
because Beretta, Browning, Maruku have been out there the longest?
I'd put money. If you went back 50 years, went to the Olympics, you wouldn't have seen a bloody 50 years. 60 years went to the Olympics to the shooting. You probably wouldn't have seen a Beretta there.
Possibly.
I'm just saying, my kid will be shooting a Yildiz at the Olympics one day, and you'll be like in your wheelchair apologising for that statement.
So,
So
I still think the Beretta beats it, but I personally don't think they're in the same league as guns. I don't think you can compare. I know you're different.
yeah, let's agree to disagree on that. We'll come back to the Turkish-Italian argument. I think value for money, this
Again,
one's hands down over a new Beretta, but I would probably buy that over this.
Again, ask the audience what they feel. So if you comment below, see what you feel on the Turkish and the Beretta Browning mark.
If that Pro Sport is a brilliant gun. If Turkey built guns that were 1,500 to 2 grand more commonly, and the market was more open to buying them, our opinion of Turkish guns would be totally different.
Yeah.
Think back 30 years. Nobody bought a high-grade Beretta 30 years ago.
No.
40 years ago.
This is my father's, which has won more cash, more medals than anything.
Your dad was saying he gave 150 quid for it.
Yeah.
And then went out and won 5 grand with it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And it's still going.
For an old
and that's had
ORE.
5 million cartridges through that.
That's a few. That's a few pallets, isn't it? 100% this has been rebuilt in its lifetime.
It's just been serviced.
It must have been rejointed. You're saying this gun has shot 5 million rounds.
Yeah.
And hasn't got wobble on the head. Never been rejointed. All right. I'm going to call you out on that one. It's got to be a lie. Or it's got to be a mistake. Or it's got to be an untruth. I present to you Exhibit A.
Still a Maruku, still the same.
But won absolutely nothing. Take 4 and off, give it a shake.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's never been tightened either. That's mine.
But still.
I have not shot 5 million rounds. I've shot few.
But still, that and that.
Yeah.
You can't ask much more than that. I mean, how many guns can do what that's had through it? It's got a crack in the fore end.
That's my fault.
But it still goes.
It's got crack everywhere. If shooting off, trigger gun.
But that would probably still go for another 30 years.
Well, I hope it doesn't. By then I'm hoping I've moved on and bought a grown-up gun. Anyway, let's start with the little lightweight. And this is more of it to show that one country can produce 2 very different guns in handling. So actually the country that your gun comes from makes about 0 difference. Which should be in the revelation at the end of this video. But we're going to put it in now.
Paul? Paul?
Did you learn on this gun by any chance?
Paul?
More like it.
Okay,
Harder
that's
to
long.
mount than the other one.
Paul?
Big long crosser.
Paul?
Just so you're ready for it.
Oh. Paul?
Shot.
I'm going to be honest, those 2 guns so far are the best of that 4.
Familiarity is a really good thing, isn't it? Oh,
But they just work.
yeah.
You try them.
That one's dead. This is on its last legs.
But it still keeps going.
But I've been saying that for the last 3 years. And I'm still shooting it.
And I bet you'll hit anything with both of them.
Yeah, you didn't miss with this.
No. Killed it. First one he took his arse end out.
Give another 3 foot. A long target. Any ideas?
You're behind it.
Still?
Yeah. Let's move closer now.
No, let's move closer a bit up. Oh, I do fancy that long one with the gun.
It's a bit short for you. Now try yours.
This doesn't have the. I mean, it's not a gun thing. It's not a brand country thing, but it is significantly less able to move on its own accord than anything else. You have to be in charge. I notice I missed behind on those two birds because I'm just letting the gun try to travel, but it's got no barrel weight, so it does just stop.
I still feel Maruku is winning.
That was always gonna, wasn't it? Oh,
Killed it. Front edge that was.
that was giving it twice as much.
That was too much. Ooh, front edge.
That is a tasty
Monster of a
target.
tilt. But both of us have hit him with M2.
Yeah, it does help that that's actually my gun, and that is your dad's gun. So it's unfair, but who cares?
So, we've come to a classic driven stand off the tower. 2 birds, 1, 2. So, we're going to start now with a nice English side-by-side and a nice Spanish side-by-side to see what...
Well, if we can knock one out pretty quickly between the two of them, can't we? There you go.
So this is the AYA.
Now this is a Webley and Scott pitching gun. Very nice.
So traditional English, traditionally Spanish.
Let's go for it.
So let's see who wins, English or Spanish.
Go down the gauntlet. Let him have it, David.
Paul?
Completed it, mate. Did you beat it?
I was being a gentleman, actually.
Oh, we're actually competing.
Now do the pair. Paul? I hit the bit.
When it really matters, I can pull it.
Paul! English. Go on, Spanish. Definitely English.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
Go on then, let's see if you can do English.
We'll try. Got to grab some more ammo.
Paul!
How game shooting could you?
Paul!
This is what being pegged next to Ant McClellan will do for you. Well, what do we learn? This is nicer.
It is nicer to shoot with.
Yeah. That's alright, but it's a bit lumpy. I think that one can be disqualified. These are too close not to like to keep them both in the running. Like, this is a clear battle between Brits and Spanish.
You can pick up for under £2,000.
So can you, what, you can't a Webley 700?
You could have Webley, but anything else, you get a Holland or something like that.
Yeah, but that's not comparable. We don't have a Holland here, and that would also win regardless. Go on, you try and defend it. Try and defend that.
It's side lock.
So, more
That's
reliable.
box lock,
More reliable.
but looks better.
Does it? This
Yes.
was made in England.
Are you trying to stick up for England?
Oh,
Just because
well,
we're in the middle of the coronavirus?
no. If you just say it, all right, there is nothing better than a British gun.
But
This
you-
might be.
But people
real
want a
basic
side
one.
lock.
Well, people can want all they like.
If you get a side lock English, it'll cost you a lot more money.
All I'm saying is this is like going and buying a side-plated ATA versus a double ELL. It's all right, but it ain't the double E.
This isn't an ATA.
Well, in this argument, it is.
No.
All right, what do you want to stay in? You got to kick one out.
So you would kick the Spanish out?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. It's a nice gun and it breaks them well, but this is just better.
I don't think I could kick either of them out, to be fair.
So you're going to keep Spain and England in.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be an interesting one shooting them next time. Roof. Ooh, we got the colourful printed gun. Ooh. To be fair, the day they can fully print a gun with colourful game scenes, I'll buy one. I mean, that's cool. Like, fake engraving with lasers is magic. But printing colourful stuff on the side, you can have whatever you want. Imagine it, like, order your gun and have, like, something obscene on the side.
Betazoli versus the Fausti.
That is an interesting battle. This is a fair battle. Is it a fair battle?
I don't think it's a fair battle.
All right, let's shoot them and find out.
Italian versus Italian. But starter gun Italian, under £1,000 versus competitive Italian. No, most underground guns don't have engraving.
No.
So you again, I don't think you can knock that.
Let's have a few shots with it and I'll knock it all you like.
Paul?
Okay.
Did I hit the first one?
All right, let's have a few goes.
Give me here.
Can I have a couple of bullets, please? Right. Let's give it a whirl. It's your channel. So, and I know you like these. But I've just, like, I'm not made up with them. Oh. The trigger's got a long reset on. I didn't let go enough. Oh. Are we playing that game?
No, we're not.
We can play that game if you want.
I beat you.
When?
Go on, you've got the better gun.
Trade.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Oh. Let's try the other one.
Paul, value for money, I think this is probably the best gun in the whole lot.
All right, let's try it out. Oh. Can I have 2 bullets?
I've only got one.
I've got 1. Can between us. Make it work. Pull. I prefer it, hands down. I find that just a little bit too much work. And I understand that it kind of is supposed to feel like that. And if they were the same price,
That, I think, is Italian's best kept secret. Nobody promotes them, nobody pushes them, but as a starter gun for under £1,000, what brand spanking new gun can you get that's side plated, that handles
that's right.
like
Or
a £5,000 gun?
does the XF4 just not handle like an 800 quid gun? That does not outshoot this.
Depends what you're looking at.
But surely something like a Browning or Maruku is better value for money.
But why, if they were promoted more, I believe they could be up with Bretta Browning, Maruku.
I mean, I would have. It's hard to say, really. I would have
Because they've got the
action
Italian,
probably doesn't have it. I don't know.
but they've got the Italian technical work in it, whereas a Turkish gun hasn't.
So are we saying that all Italians are great engineers and all Turks are bad?
No,
I mean, it's too
but
much
they've got
generalisation.
more.
And this is kind of interesting about this video, that actually country of origin makes very little difference unless it's made in England, which means it's perfect.
That's because you're British.
Are you not?
Yeah.
Yeah. God save the Queen. Let me go get some ammunition. Don't get angry and don't get bitter because this is not a sensible test.
Please share to your friends and have a look at what other films we've done. And it's all there to try and encourage you to get into shooting this great sport.